could you tell me, where you're from, where you grew up?
Yeah, no, it's Simsport, Louisiana. America. Originally, actually, I'm Cuban. My birth parents were Cuban, but I'm adopted. So really, I'm from America, but the descendant is Cuban. Yeah.
What could you tell me? Like, how were you as a kid? Were you always like into fitness or just play
Yeah,
sports?
no, yeah, no, bro. I've always boxed as a kid, but originally, and actually, I started going down the wrong path with boxing, and fitness is what realigned me on that path of, forward progression. Because, I mean, shit, when I was like 15, 16, I was doing a bunch of drug dealing and robbing, getting arrested, and all this stuff like that. But I realized that every time I realigned myself back with physical action, intense physical action, or peak physical performance, it always alleviated that negative mindset. I mean, dude, I tried to kill myself twice, and then every time
Mm,
when I got in flow state through workouts and dieting, it always realigned me back to my best self. It always helped me out.
wow. Uh, I want to get a little deeper into to your background. I know I was, looking over and it said, you know, you're arrested and things like that. What could you tell me about your background and how did you make that switch from bringing yourself to where you are now?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, I woke up on the couch one day after a bad hangover. I just had this snorted some pills, drank some alcohol, smoked some weed, and then I woke up and realized I looked in that accountability mirror and I just called myself out on and was honest on everything that I was doing wrong in life. And then right after that, I ran like 5 miles. My self talk was directly aligned with the person that I wanted to become. And after that was like an aha moment, and soon after that, that's really where was a pinnacle in my life where I changed, because once where it felt as if I didn't have a purpose as trying to take my life, um, like boxing always realigned me back to something. I'm like, oh, I did have a purpose, even though if it was just boxing, it was way deeper than that, because it did eventually prevent me from going down the path like that or keep going down the path like that.
And you mentioned flow state. For listeners that might not know what that entails, what does that look like for you, and
Not
what puts
realizing
to your
time as
mind?
it passes. Yeah, not realizing time as it passes by. I mean, flow state can be a workouts and many things. Like even if you're at your job and you're just crushing it, I mean, you're in flow state. You're not realizing time as it passes by. You're completely away from all the negative thoughts and narratives that may plague your mind on a normal scenario where you're just sitting at home doing nothing. When you're actually moving and getting your heart rate up, then that's really what flow state is.
So how can someone get more of that?
I'll just
Get
keep
more.
moving. Like don't always stay busy and consistent. Yeah, because the moment you stop is boredom leads to desires, leads to vices. The moment you stop, the moment you get bored, your mind starts to wander, and an idle mind is the devil's playground, like they say. So you gotta stay fucking busy, dude.
Mm, yeah, I feel like I constantly find myself in those times of, and I notice that I become self aware of like, dang, I'm so bored right now. Like I need to do like, not everybody I guess is like this, but like the way my mind works is like I need to constantly be doing something, either cleaning up around the house or active, or going to the gym or doing something to keep myself active, or else I definitely feel myself leading down the path of being inconsistent, and especially when it comes to healthy habits.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Yeah, the moment you lose that consistency and break that pattern is, yeah, it's a downfall. Yeah, you gotta stay consistent. Yeah.
So, did you have like any mentors or someone that helped you along the way? Did you just, is it just like looking in the mirror and just pushing yourself after you found that mindset shift?
Yeah, no, when I was getting arrested, I knew I was going to go to jail and stuff. So I was looking at prison videos and stuff like that. And I came across Wes
Oh, wow.
Watson. And in that mindset, actually, I mean, I always listen to him. Um, because he was from prison. He came out of prison and now he's a millionaire. So I got a lot of my mindset from there, but as well as my mistakes were my mentors as well. Like you said, looking in that accountability mirror, just being honest with yourself. Because all the answers to our problems, the solutions exist within us. We just have to look deep enough inside. we always
Hmm.
constantly avoid it. But the moment we run into something that we most wish to avoid is the moments where we transcend self to a higher level and we actually get that answer that we were once seeking before. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it all takes just running into the problem, instead of running away from it.
So, what could I tell someone that might be in that situation right now? Like, you know, they don't know what they're doing, or like, how can we help someone else change in that scenario?
Well, you never want to decide a situation when you're either in a neutral or negative mindset. You always want to move and do some shit and really get in flow state where everything's working for you, even when things aren't. You know, and you want to create just focus on creating the best you. Like, don't worry about any of this other shit, trying to improve this or that. Just get your diet right, your fitness right, and then eventually that clarity will come to you. You know.
Mm. One of the reasons what your story resonated with me when I saw your profile is I found myself in a similar situation where when I was 21 I got DUI and I went to jail for a little while, just like a couple days, but even in that I was like in the general public, and it was so wild to me. Like I've never been in a situation like that before. It's completely eye opening, and then everybody that I was running into there was like, what are you in here for? Or, don't come back. You don't need to be here. You're good. You got a good head on your shoulders and things like that. So completely shifted my mind. And I knew that I did not want to be back here, and I wanted to change my life for the better. So, I started reading more books and started getting more, fit and staying healthy and building habits to lead myself down the path of not going back to that situation. So that's I really I feel like your story could resonate with other people as well. Sharing that would help someone maybe realize and change their life, change their story. So how did you go from changing your life, and then it looks like you're starting Kimble
Yeah.
Fit? Yeah, yeah. So what's that about?
Oh yeah, it's just I help people overcome their vices and addictions and get them physically fit as well. I have a large client base because I've always trained people for free. I've always gave value because when you've been through so much, like you said, it's like the law of polarity. What you can't experience extremely very elevated high unless you've been through the lowest of lows. So you in jail was that point, or you experienced that low, and you're like, well, shit, I don't want to be here, and then you transcend itself. You know. So basically, that's what I do, and I just teach others that because what I went through was, it caused a lot of pain in my life, so it just feels like I have to give back, and I always did that for people. So I've just developed that client base of just helping people with their problems out in life and stuff like that. But now I'm starting to monetize it though. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
recently
absolutely.
to do that, yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. What would you say is like one of the core principles for your program? Like, how can someone stop their own vice, or
Oh
maybe
well, we
multiple
start with
vices?
we start with fitness and nutrition. I just share what worked for me, exactly how I overcame my addiction because I was in a 5150 and they wanted to send me to rehab and all of this stuff. And I had to be placed in a special place inside of the psych unit because they thought I would have withdrawals and stuff. But if you just take somebody and focus on their diet and focus on their fitness, like I did myself, and put them towards a greater purpose in life, just which is their purpose, healing themselves, then you don't focus on like, okay, let's make you quit drinking. I didn't do that for me. It just magnified the problem. That's what the therapist did. So I had to take
Mm,
accountability in my own self, my own actions, and I had to improve myself, like fitness, mindset, and stuff like that. And ultimately, that just made me drop everything because I just improved myself. Then I started loving myself because I took care of myself and my training and nutrition and all that.
and when you say you improved yourself and started loving yourself, uh, can you kind of go deeper into that? What does that mean for you?
Oh, it means everything for me. That's what I teach, like in my program. We do I do my wake up, my 2:45 a.m. wake up, and then I'm in the gym by 4, and then I make my post in the morning, and I just my self talk and everything is aligned. So I'm enjoying life all throughout the fucking day. Like it's just I'm completely aligned, and I know how to realign myself if I go negative. I know how to realign myself and put me back in that positive state, and that's what I teach in my program is to do that. So I just use everything that worked for me to get to this point in my life mentally and physically, and I do that for others.
And what does your self talk sound like?
It's just massive compression. Every time when I'm desiring something, it's like you weak bitch. You don't need this shit. You don't want your future kids or your future family to grow up and you be a fat fuck and look at you like look down on you. You want to look like. I mean, obviously, no man wants that for their family. I mean, you just
Yeah.
start thinking when you switch your self talk, man. It's like everything. Of course, everything changes because you could get in flow state just by simply doing that. If you're at your job, you're 9 to 5 or something, and if you're hating the monotonous task, but if you're like, no, fuck this, I'm gonna go even harder, even when I don't feel like it. And even during
Mhm.
a fat loss phase, if instead of saying like, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm starving, just say, oh, this is what fat loss feels like. You just
Mm.
switch that self talk.
Yeah. So it sounds like anytime you're coming up with like some sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say weakness, but something that you feel like you want to cave or do something that's against your goals, you identify it real quick and you do that mindset shift, right? You kind of like stop yourself, like, nah, I'm not going to do this. But then you said something earlier, and like where you said, I'm just going to stop drinking or something like that, and something made it worse. So like, what is that when it comes to addiction? When you say like, I just want to quit or something, and then why does it make it worse, and how do we avoid that?
I always documented everything, my journey. I would post on my story, like all the drugs and pills and promethazine and everything, and I would throw it in the trash and say I'm done. And then, but I would never do any self development work. I never knew anything about that. I never knew about self talk or mindset or anything. So I would just focus like try to cold turkey it and stuff like that without the self development process, and it would never work. I go get it out the trash or something. I mean, it would never work. But now, since when I did learn that and pick up those habits, I got addicted to that instead, something more
Mm,
positive like that than
mm.
the drugs, and that's a way to fix it. That's how I fixed it. Was like every time if I'm desiring something, I just do some burpees or something, hit the floor, and then my desires quickly leave me after that.
And where did you learn that from? Like, where did you even start? Did you just like start looking up online or videos or
No,
find
well, no,
books? Like,
first,
what
yeah.
do you do? What did you do to feed yourself on that?
No, first I started learning with myself. I mean, that's why I got up off the couch and I just ran because I knew running and stuff like that puts you in flow state. So that's what I did. I was like, oh, let me do something positive. So I got off the hangover and I just ran. And then, I mean, you receive clarity and you receive thoughts that you didn't even know you had when you do reach a state like that. You start tying together these words that you never thought you could because you're just elevated higher at a frequency. But yeah, I started doing that. I started watching all the motivational stuff, Joe Rogan, David Goggins, Wes Watson, all of them, and yeah, like you said, reading books and all that stuff. That's yeah, all that helps. It really does help. Quotes and quotes are massively important because if you could implement at least one quote throughout the day and put that towards your life, I mean, and that's massive because it's just quick. It's there and it's quick.
So, do you think everyone can change, or is it like are there some people that just can't change?
No, definitely everybody can change. That's why when people in prison change, I'm supposed to be dead like twice. Of course, I changed. I mean, it's really anybody can change. It's no like nobody's fucking special. Everybody has the same shit. Everybody can change. Everybody's the same. We just have different habits. Like in that
Mm.
moment, that puts us and labels us as that.
And you go back to
Some
those
of
those
us just
habits,
takes
and
longer.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, I believe that. Uh, So, what do you think has been like the biggest impact on your change, on your life change? Like, what person or book or what material constituted that for you is like the biggest impact of your change?
Wes
Yeah.
Watson. I mean, that's a massive mindset switch when I started listening to him. I mean,
Mhm.
he's my mentor now in business. I mean, it's just it was a massive mindset switch. Yeah.
And where can people find your program if they want to get involved? Or
KimbleFit.com on like Safari and stuff, and Kimble underscore fit on Instagram. That's pretty much what I'm on like 24/7. It's my Instagram, Kimble underscore fit.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely want people to check you out and check out your story uh, and your program too. You know, if someone needs it. So, what would you tell someone that's like an 18-year-old kid that doesn't know where to go from here? You know, what's one thing you would want them to take away from your story?
To just like I said, just work on their purpose in life, not try to get too involved in any extra shit like adding on to stuff. Just focus on taking away stuff more than adding on, because then they'll just get too confused. You know, start with the simple things, like start with the daily disciplines, getting 1% better every day. You know, because you start planting seeds that grow over time, and then ultimately it grows into something big. Just stay consistent on doing the daily disciplines, the little tasks, that really add up to something big at the end of the year. That's what I did. I just did simple daily shit every day consistently that eventually added up.
And that's a perfect time right now because it's coming towards the end of the year where everyone starts making their goals and wants to change their life around or get in the gym. So uh,
Yeah, oh yeah.
definitely. But why do you think people fail? Why do you think people start to exercise, start to get fit, start to diet, and then they just fail?
Yeah, they start and stop because I mean they'll come in with like full intensity and they'll be like, "I'll start Monday." No, like start today, motherfucker. Like start today. Do the little things today, and then like don't just wait until Monday or something. You know, like every time when somebody asks me or they tell me like, "Oh yeah, I'll get on that later." Like I'm like, no, like now. You know, there's no time to wait. I mean, tomorrow's not promised, and the moment you actually get involved in it now, then you get a massive clarity switch. I mean, and then you're just like, "Oh damn, I'm so glad I started it now." You know, like even my mom when she's like, "Oh, we'll work out tomorrow." I'm like, "No, let's do it now." You know, and then we do it now, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I did it now." You know, it seems fogged at the moment when you don't do it because they think too much. But when you just run right into it and just do it, then I mean, you get massive clarity after. But they're just not
Yeah,
consistent. They throw too much at themselves at once that they can't handle. You know, like this lady in the gym, I just saw her. She just coming back after the gym, and she was like, "Oh, I gotta make up for these days." She was like jump roping after every set. I'm like, "Holy shit!" She does not know what she's doing because she tried to go all in, trying to make up for the days or something. I'm like, bro, like just take it slow, you know.
then she ends up burning out and then misses a
Yeah, I
few
didn't
more
see her
days,
this
right?
morning.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that 1% better every day. It's that compound effect, so that way you can start building on top of your goals. Now, do you set goals? Do you set goals by month, by year, or do you like how do you go about that? Do you just continue to work on like your personal records, EPRs on lifting, or like what does it look like for you on setting goals?
No, I never set any goals. All I do is get up every day, bring the best possible version of myself to everybody else. Like throw everything I have into the day, like 110%. There's not a second out of the fucking day where I'm like doing something that I want to do, doing something pleasurable. I eat no carbs throughout the day just so I can be that way and structure that mindset. At the end of the day, I eat carbs. Like I'm about to go eat some fucking carbs after this podcast. But throughout the day, it's like no carbs. I'm strictly staying aligned, and I just get up every day to just bring my best self. And it's like, oh, you don't have a money goal. My friend's he's so focused about fucking money. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it'll come, of course. I just paid like 5,000 this month on mentorship and personal branding. But I'm like, if I just get up every day and give 100% of my all into everybody else and to what I do, then I'm not going to be tied to any goal and won't get discouraged if I don't complete it in time, because I'm just showing up every day being better than who I was yesterday. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Because in the end, like you said, well, it's a compound effect and will eventually grow. And the money will come, of course, after.
Yeah, but that's the important thing too. Is you're also spending, you're putting, your money where your passion is for
Yeah. Oh,
mentorship to get better.
yeah.
Yeah, and not a lot of people will do that. That's your that's already seems like a lot for them to even get started. It seems like a big mental barrier for people
Yeah,
to
exactly.
invest in
Like
themselves.
they'll spend thousands on their truck and shit, but nothing in personal
Yeah,
development. You know,
have an
like
eight
three
hundred dollar
hundred
truck
bucks.
payment. Yeah,
Yeah, like $300 a month, right? Like 300 bucks for 1 month can change the way your wife looks at you. but you choose to spend like fucking 5,000 on some like a lift or something. You know, that happens all the time. I see it all the time. You know, it's like golly, bro. Like my program's like less than $10 a day, and then that's like a massive life change. You know, it changed my life, so I go around preaching it. But I mean, you know, people just lack of investment in themselves. So, yeah, you are right about that one.
Yeah, yeah. And where can people follow you? You have on social, Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. That's where I'm at, bro. Just Kimble underscore fit. You know, that's
Kimble
all.
underscore fit.
Kimble. Yeah,
Yeah.
fit. That's where.
All right. All right, John. I appreciate you. You have an unstoppable mindset, man. I hope people can take away today something and get started. If they have a goal in mind and they're wanting to put it on the back end, don't fucking wait. Just go for it today. Get started.
Yeah, no, just fucking go, dude. Don't fucking wait. No, no, you'll stop.